Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Sonia, the host of the Treasures You podcast. And do you like flowers? We see flowers everywhere, but are we aware of the flower of life? This is an interesting question for all of us. Yet, as we continue to evolve and learn and grow, we know within our heart that the treasure is you. I am Sonia, the host, and it is a delight to be connecting with you. Yes, beautiful ones, flowers, plant life, the seed of life, the flower of life. Yes, this is our blueprint of life, the flower of life, beautiful ones. Now, back in 1999, I was in a bookstore and I was drawn to this book called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Yes, I was drawn to that book, and of course I bought that book. And I know many of you have heard of this book, The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Now, I do know that many of you have heard of the flower of life and maybe even have heard of the book. Yet, the book is very informative. It shares so many interesting things about us as humanity. So, dear ones, if you haven't heard of the flower of life, then you are in for a treat because I will be sharing what I know of the flower of life. And as I said, the flower of life is us. It is the blueprint of all humanity. And within the flower of life, we have other blueprints because, as I say all of the time, we encompass the whole. So the flower of life, dear ones, is a sacred geometry symbol that has a blueprint of all life. Human beings, plants, animals, every form of life. Now, within the blueprint of the flower of life, we also have the seed of life, we have the fruit of life, we have the tree of life. And within the tree of life, we have the egg of life, we have Metatron's cube. Back in 2010, dear ones, I was shown a beautiful display of sacred geometry symbols. It was a hologram, and I was witnessing something so spectacular. As I said, it was sacred geometry symbols moving in different sequences, in and out, and changing formation and changing colors. And as I said, it was a very beautiful display. And when you see something like that, dear ones, it changes you. It completely changes your whole concept of who you are and what's going on in the world. So I witnessed this, and I also was told, because I did not know anything about archangels. So the name popped up in my head, and I heard the name Archangel Metatron. So Archangel Metatron, he's one of the archangels that I have read, and it does resonate with me, that God, he was a man, he had a human incarnation, and God chose him because he was living a righteous life. So God chose Archangel Metatron. So he's one of the archangels whose name does not have LE at the end. All of the other archangels, we got Archangel Raphael, Michael, you see that? Uriel, Ariel, Gabriel. From what I have learned, the archangels, the names all end with EL. Archangel Metatron name does not. And then there's another archangel as well that does not have the EL, and that's Archangel Sandalphon. So these two archangels, they work hand in hand. Now, Archangel Metatron is bringing and grounding in all of the cosmic energies from our stellar gate all the way up to source, down to our stellar gate, so it can come into our crown. And then Archangel Sandalphon works with the earthly plane, helps to ground in for every human being their energy, so our energy can course up into the cosmos, so we can receive intuitive information, because this is how we receive intuitive information, dear ones. We are literally a channel. We are literally an antenna. We are a satellite. We are a compass. We are a magnetic force that can translate, transmute, and create energy, because we are an energetic force. Yes, I was not planning to say all of that, but it's fitting. So I was shown this beautiful sacred geometry symbols that represented us as humanity, dear ones. And I am just now realizing, as I fast forward to 2025, that these symbols were representing different expressions. I didn't know back then. I knew that it represented the universe, it represented life itself, us, in a sacred geometrical essence of sacred geometry symbols. So it was representing the essence of love. It was representing the essence of compassion, of unity, of benevolence, of kindness. Yes, of joy. What else? I'm getting compassion, enthusiasm, optimism, light. These were expressions that were being shown to me. This is why it was moving in and out of different sequences and changing its color. Yes. And then towards the end, it started beating like a heartbeat. So, yes, I witnessed this. As I am sharing this with you right now, this was a display of the flower of life in a sacred geometrical form of sacred geometry symbols, meaning all of what I said, those sacred geometry symbols, they are actually within the flower of life. So I did not see the symbol of the flower of life, but I saw the moving rotation of symbols, of sacred symbols. Yes, moving and changing colors. And as I said, it was the most fascinating display I have ever seen because it was us. It was a display of life. And it showed me that everything has a divine orchestration. Even when things may be out of alignment, the natural order of life brings things back into harmony. So harmony is our natural state of being, dear ones. Yes. So it's very fascinating. And it was very spectacular to see that. I saw that in my mind's eye. And I'm just sharing that with you because everything that I share with us is about the beauty and the depths of who we are. We have just tapped the surface of who we are. And when we begin to search within, yes, we have to search within ourselves because that is where everything lies. Like I have always been announcing and sharing with everyone because yes, I am a messenger, but you are a messenger as well. Because whatever knowledge that you have, you probably will share some of it to people as well, right? So I just wanted to share that I witnessed such a beautiful display of humanity, of all life, dear ones. Now, let me pull up. I'm going to share some information. Okay, this right here. So, as we're talking about energy, who better than to talk about Albert Einstein? So there we go. We got the energy equals matter. And is that consciousness? I'm drawing a blank. And you can reverse that. So no matter how you look at it, dear ones, as I have been sharing, that we are energetic essences. Now let me just see what this form here. So before I go a little deeper in, okay, I just shared here about what I saw, which was a different sacred geometry symbols within the flower of life. That is what I saw. All right, let me just see. Okay, so let me just share with you guys. Here is the actual flower of life. Okay. So in this flower of life, dear ones, it is said that it has 19 circles. And within the flower of life, it has the egg of life, the fruit of life, the seed of life, the tree of life, and Metatron's cube. Pretty fascinating, huh? It's pretty fascinating that that symbol is the blueprint for all life. So the 19 circles, they represent, as I always say again, that we are all interconnected. It is displaying the interconnection of all life. It is the blueprint of all life. And it started, of course, with one circle and then multiply and keep multiplying until you get our blueprint of 19 interconnecting circles that just keep connecting. So within these 19 circles, 19 circles, there are 64 tetrahedron within that. So the flower of life is a display, dear ones, of every geometrical formation, every geometrical problem, and every expression that can be found in life. Everything can be found within the flower of life. And I think that is just spectacular. And it lights you up. It makes you want to explore your own self. It makes you want to dive deeper into the essence of your own being, of the universe, of the things that are happening in your life, because this is a very profound symbol. Okay, dear ones, let me just see here if I have anything else that I have on the slide. Yes, okay. So I did say it had 19 circles, right? It's the basic template of life. It has 13 circles within that flower of life, which consists of the fruit of life, which I did announce. And the flower of life, dear ones, has been shown throughout our world in many locations. One being Egypt, the temple of Osiris. And we don't actually know the date, because guess what, dear ones? Our human mind wants to know dates and all this stuff, but in actuality, we are not meant to know everything in its date, because I'm here to tell you that everything resides within us. So when you meditate, you will find the answer within you, which means you will feel, if you allow yourself to connect with the sentient part of yourself that feels everything, all answers reside within us. So we have to let go of that human mind that says, okay, I need proof and I need this and I need that. Well, the proof is you. You're looking at the proof. You're looking at the proof because the proof is you, because you exist. You are the proof, okay? So allow yourself to understand that everything resides within us. That is what I have been told many years ago. Yeah, because my human mind too would try to search and search and search, look in books and all these things, trying to search for answers. And my guardian and my divine higher self has always told me that all answers reside within us. That means all of us. Okay? So again, allow yourself to just realize that everything resides within us. You don't have to find a book for every single thing, dear ones, because guess what? We created all of those books. Yeah, we have. We have created all of the books, and I'm speaking collectively. We have. So when we can acknowledge those things, then you will have more understanding and you will have peace within your own knowing of self. So this beautiful flower of life, which is the blueprint of our existence, has been shown in many parts of the world. As I said, Egypt, and we don't know the time. I just went on to tell us that it's within us. Everything is within us. They have seen it in China as well, the Forbidden City, under the paws of the guardian lions. It has been seen in Israel, in ancient synagogues, in Galilee, and Masada. It has been found in India Buddhist temples, sites like the Golden Temple, and in the Ajanta caves. It has been found in Japan, temples across the country, in Turkey, in the cities of Euphrates, in Syria, back in 645 BC, and in the palace of the king Ashurbanipal. In Spain, in Italy, art from the 13th century has been displayed. It has been found on mosaic flooring of Pompeii, and it has been found in Peru, in Mexico, in many other locations around the world, including North and South America, which, as I said, just all over the world. So, what does that say, dear ones? If this symbol, which represents us, it represents the blueprint of life, and it has been found all over the world, that is giving us an indication so we can all learn more about ourselves. Yes, we have to be the explorer. We have to realize more than ever that everything resides within us. And when we can realize that everything resides within us, dear ones, we will begin to understand ourselves more. We will begin to open up more opportunities in our lives, and we will begin to open up brand new pathways of discoveries of self, because this whole life journey, from what I have been discovering, is about us learning, remembering, exploring those unknown and untapped parts of ourselves through many facets, because everything resides within us. Pretty fascinating, huh? Yeah. We are fascinating, dear ones. Every one of us. And when we can see the beauty that resides within, yes, then you are on the right path of learning. Now, when I say the right path, you're just on that path of discovery. Yeah. Who doesn't want to learn more about themselves? Especially when you can tap into these unknown and mystical parts of you that connects you with you. Yeah. As I said, we are very fascinating. And when we can allow ourselves to be, explore, travel, and open, then we get to see the beauty. We get to explore, and we get to relate and connect with one another in a deeper way. Yes, we can. So, the flower of life, as I said, when I walked in that bookstore in 1999, I'm thinking, yeah, 1999 or maybe 2000, the beginning of 2000. I just remember I was drawn to that book. Yes, I was. So if you are drawn to learning more about yourself, just look up more things about the flower of life, dear ones, because that is the blueprint of us. It is the blueprint of all life. Everything resides within us, dear ones. Every single thing. And as I like to add, every distorted belief, any type of distraction, dis-ease, when we search within, I mean, really search within, you can heal those things by searching within. Everything on this beautiful green and blue planet are gifts, opportunities, and treasures that are waiting for us to discover. But what is the name of my podcast? Yes, the greatest treasure is you. Yeah, the greatest treasure is you. So, beautiful ones, allow yourself to explore more about yourself. Look up anything on the flower of life, the tree of life. Look all of them up, and you are going to open up a world spring of infinite possibilities. Yes, when we search, you will find, because the treasure is you, dear ones. So take care.